Hi, everyone. My name is Roland Kym. I'm a realtor in Vancouver, Canada, with Keller Williams and the KymBuna team. We're consistently in the top 1%. And today, on November 23rd, I want to give you a monthly market update. It's also going to give you a bit more information about how we will finish the year and some of our insights going into 2024 and the year ahead. It has been a interesting year for sure. The market conditions have definitely gotten busy, gotten slow, and now are trending in a more typical direction. So what you can see here on this 2023 market trend report that I've created is a few things. One, if we look at October transactional sales for the Greater Metro Vancouver Real Estate Board, you'll see that there was just short of 2,000 transactions in the month, which is about a 4% increase over transactional volume for the same month of last year. When I look at this month, as of yesterday, November 22nd, we see that there's 1,225 transactions that have taken place. I averaged that out for the month of November, makes an estimated amount for the total November to be around 1,670 transactions, which will be about a 4% increase over November of last year. So we are very similar to October's volume. That being said, it's also going to be interesting when you look here at the end of the year. December's numbers will, kind of show that we are not the slowest and certainly not the biggest year that we've had in our real estate market. For the Metro Vancouver area, this image describes or illustrates to you the detached homes in Metro Vancouver. The top line is showing you the benchmark average price, which currently is just over $2 million. The very bottom green line is showing you the sales volume, and the middle is the active listings. You may never have seen this before, but it is a great illustration that shows you not all listings in Vancouver sell, and yet the average listing volume has been pretty consistent, or certainly within a range for many quarters, and same with the sales volume. So a little bit consistency is what we're seeing here. This image demonstrates to you the same thing for the condo market. So the top line is showing you the average benchmark price. Middle line is showing you all the active condo property listings that are currently available. And the bottom green line is showing you the number that have sold. In the townhouse market, we see the average price being around $1,150,000. There's currently about 1,200 active townhouse properties in the Metro Vancouver Real Estate Board, and about 300 in the month of October sold. The image here for the Metro Vancouver market stats is showing you a number of different things. We're going back to the month of October. What you get to see are, in each one of those categories, what I just talked about before, is the number of active listings, the number of sales, and the benchmark price for each one. Beyond that as well, you get to see the average number of days that it took for the properties that sold to be sold. So for detached properties, took about 32 days on average. For the townhouse market, about 21 days on market on average, and for the condo market, about 25 days on average. But again, that is only the properties that sold. And keep that in mind. So for the detached, for the houses, there is a sales to active ratio of 12.9%. Now, what that means, of all the houses that were on the market in the month of October, only just shy of 13% of those listings sold. So we really, in essence, have almost a 6 to 7 month inventory of detached properties when you consider how many listings sold versus how many properties were listed. For the townhouse market, you have a sales to active listings ratio of about 21%. And just over 21% for the condo market. Again, what that indicates is there's almost 5 months of inventory currently on the market for when you compare to the number of properties that have sold. Over here, we do see again the same thing as I just showed you earlier. For the month of October, last month in 2023, there was just shy of 2,000 units sold, a little bit higher than October of 2022 by 4.4%. The average price is $1,195, $1,195,500. Again, the average benchmark price for its specific category, being the detached market, is currently at $2 million. For the townhouse property style, it's around $1,100,000, and for the condo market, it's around $770-ish thousand is the current average benchmark price. On average square foot, again, averages are only as good as you use them, but they give you some guidance. There's obviously lots of properties that are worth more and many properties that are worth less, and that's what causes the average. So in the condo market, the average square foot is around $953 currently for a condo. For the detached house market, it's around $841. And for the townhouse, it's around $787 is the average price per square foot. The sales to active ratio is also well illustrated in this image, which shows you the three different types of markets that we tend to have in Vancouver. The top larger one is the seller's market, the slender middle is the balanced market, and the buyer's market. As you can see in Vancouver, we haven't been in many buyer's markets over the last several years. We tend to have stayed in a seller's market. And this is the first time in my career, I'll talk a little bit more about it, where in 2024, I believe we're going to be in a balanced market for quite a while during that year. And part of that reason is because, although I feel the market is recovering and we'll have a busier 2024, equally at the same time, interest rates are very high. They will come down a little bit, but people will be limited with their capacity of purchasing and their capacity of borrowing. And I believe that will cause us to remain in a balanced market for much of 2024. So around the province, what you see here are all the different real estate boards, and you get to see the average price in the middle. Below it, you see the year-over-year percentage increase. And then to the right, we'll see the units sold for the month of October in that real estate board and the change year-over-year for that month. For my real estate board, mainly the Greater Vancouver and the Fraser Real Estate Board, you get to see that we're in positive territory. Year over year, there's a price increase for Greater Vancouver of 4.7% in the month of October and 6.7% in the Fraser Valley for the month of October. Unit sales, again, we've just discussed this, are up slightly by 4% in Greater Vancouver and about up 7% in the Fraser Valley Board. If you think of where most of the population lives, which is close to the border, so you got the Greater Vancouver and the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board, all of this last year was negative territory this time. It was trending more negative. And what we see now, we're in the positive area. So the trend has shifted, that although it's been a slower second half of the year, there's a lot of pent-up demand on buyers, and there's a lot of sellers that are still looking to get their property sold. The average price for October in the province of BC was up 4.1%. The average price now in the province, again, that's last month, was $968,786. We see here since 2012 that there's been a steady increase with some adjustments, but it appears like we may be, hitting a bottom and reestablishing ourselves on an upcycle. This is an interesting graph that I hadn't reported on before, but what it shows you is the historic active listings and annually, and mapped out on this graph. It shows you that clearly in the middle of the year, you have typically the peak of active listings in any given year, and then it trends down as we head into November and December. This year's a little bit more unusual. You see the big, thick black line, and what we see, and I'm experiencing it right now at the brokerage, is that November's listing load has not diminished as much as it usually does. And so we're going to continue to trend more sideways and less down, meaning there's less listings being removed from the real estate board, and there's less listings there's more listings hitting the market. And part of that reason is because there are lots of sellers who were not able to achieve their sale price over the last 6 months, not able to achieve a sale, that are still interested in selling. And they might be, within some boundaries of how they're able to adjust on their price, but they are interested in selling. So they continue to remain on the market. I do believe that is setting us up for a very busy spring. Unemployment rate continues to be in a very strong category. We have lots of employment. We have upticked a little bit, but what it's showing is that the landscape in the Vancouver area is not being affected. The real estate market is not going to be dramatically affected up or down by any unemployment or further employment. We're pretty established with a low unemployment rate. On inflation, we get to see that we are in a steady downwards cycle. It appears like we will be working close to, getting close to where the government wants to be in the year ahead, and perhaps the next 2 years get to where they want to see the inflation. And you can really see how high inflation trends were in the past year. And it appears like those impacts that or those changes we made and increases of interest rates really are now 9 to 12 months after the fact having an impact. Furthermore, we see that the bond rates are decreasing. All this is indicating to me that interest rates, when the next Bank of Canada meeting will happen, will continue to hold. And what we're seeing here is we see this steep increase from June of last year. At June of last year, the Bank of Canada interest rate was 1.5%, and it skyrocketed over the following, in the following year, up to 5%. And we've held at 5% for the last 2 Bank of Canada meetings. The next one is in early December, and I believe it will continue to hold. And probably by mid-2024, third quarter 2024, we'll probably start seeing some interest rate decreases. Another real big impact of our stable, and healthy demand cycle in the Vancouver real estate area is because of immigration. Immigration in Canada is on the uptick, dramatic uptick. I mean, when you look here, there's a large period of time where the net immigration stayed within a channel and was not dramatically increased. And then since COVID, there's a negative immigration at one point during the COVID phase. And since then, with the initiative by the federal government and the intentions of needing more net immigration to replace the workforce and maintain the economy, we have really opened up it appears, the floodgates of immigration. I'm an immigrant myself. I immigrated here in 1986 with my family right over here. And the story is entirely different right now with net immigration. Nationally, you can see that there's a lot of newcomers coming to Canada, and that will, of course, have an impact on the availability of housing and the demand on that housing. Provincially, the province, BC's population grew by more than 52,000 people during the second quarter. That's establishing, or that was about 162,000 people, or about 3% of our provincial total, moved here, marking the strongest year-over-year change since the 1994 peak of the immigration from Hong Kong. So immigration, population movement is having a huge impact on our demand. Other factors that are impacting the Vancouver real estate market are the slowing of condo sales. When that was really starting to hit the news in 2022, partially because the interest rates were skyrocketing, that caused developers to delay projects. And we're now really starting to see that where projects that were slated to complete in 2023, 24, 25, they are far behind on that timeline. And what that means is that there's a whole bunch of inventory that the market was expecting would arrive that is being delayed. And so that is causing further pressure on the volume of inventory. And as well, there's 1 in 5 home builders that were, nixing projects amid the high cost and high interest rates. And so that is dramatic. If you think of 1 in 4 projects got canceled, and some of those actually got resold at higher prices since, but none of them have been, of course, built from the ones that were canceled or rescheduled. So that is decreasing the inventory that we previously thought was going to be online, and that is putting a lot more pressure on availability. And those factors will really start to show themselves in 2024. So all that in summary, BC and Canada's population growth is ever increasing. It's at all-time highs. The next Bank of Canada interest rate announcement is December 6th, and it should hold. Interest rates are expected to go down by 2024 to third quarter 2024. apologies, by mid-24, if not by third quarter. So we find ourselves currently in a more balanced market with fewer sales, and that appears to be continuing itself in 2024. Less product, spelling mistake, less product was delivered in the past 12 months than projected, which further creates a shortage and will put more pressure on availability in early 2024 in combination to project delays and project cancellations. So we're expecting a very busy spring in 2024 with low single-digit home price growth in Vancouver, around 3 to 6% in the 2024 market. We are currently in a very high price market that appears to be establishing a new bottom with lots and lots of pressure on the upside. You know, many people that I follow, many local industry leaders believe that currently now, although it doesn't feel like it, now is the low point on price of this next housing growth cycle. So again, my name is Roland Kym. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams and the KymBuna team. And your situation, your buying or selling needs are different to anyone else's. So I'd love to sit down with you and talk more about what you may be looking to accomplish and perhaps how I can help you. Certainly would love to apply for the opportunity to represent you as your realtor. And I'm always a phone call away. You can find me online. Thanks for watching.